Auckland councillors have chosen a compromise option. This is breaking news for creating an America's Cup village, opting to spread bases over 3 wharves each of which will need small extensions. After a 3-hour meeting, councillors chose the $132 million option to build 8 bases across the Wynyard, Halsey Street and Hobson wharves. America's Cup reporter Todd Niall is at the council and joins us on the phone. This was the cheaper option and less invasive, Todd, in terms of its expansion into the harbour, right?
Yeah, less invasive, and this is the one that had been looking for the past week that it would come through. The big option, the initial preference for Team New Zealand was a 220-metre expansion of the Halsey Street Wharf. This one spreads the bases over 3 sort of adjacent wharves, and Halsey Street Wharf does get extended, but only by 75 metres at $132 million. This is also, of the really viable options, the cheapest one. And there was a burst of almost consensus towards the end. Team New Zealand had always publicly favoured the bigger, more expensive option, but Stephen Tyndall told meeting in a question and answer session with councillors that they accepted the reality of the more modest, the less contentious model, and so the team has agreed that they can work with that one.
Gosh, that's fascinating because, as you said, that wasn't their initial preference. So Stephen Tyndall was there and there was a Q&A with council, and in the end he said, yes, we will take this.
Yeah, so for Stephen Tyndall, who's on the board, and also Kevin Shoebridge, Chief Operating Officer, sat side by side with council officials as councillors talked and asked, why this, why that, how something would work. And yes, they conceded that so Stephen Tyndall himself said he personally had some of the concerns that Aucklanders did around encroachment into the harbour. He accepted the political reality of trying to push through the big option, and also acknowledged that the lower cost of doing the compromise one was probably also a significant factor.
Todd, is this a done deal now then? Is this going to happen, or is there more work yet to be done?
It's essentially a done deal. What they now take away is this is the political decision. The Mayor, the Chief Executive, now has to sit down with Team New Zealand and with the government to hammer out formal agreements on this option, to discuss how the cost sharing will be done. And this then comes back to the council on the 14th of December for absolute sign-off. Theoretically, there's still another option in the mix, and it's stayed in there because it was one the government had wanted to look at, but it's really got quite a few fishhooks in it and is there only in spirit, if you like, rather than as a viable second option. So essentially this is it.
Todd Niall, our Auckland reporter, thanks so much. So Auckland councillors have chosen that compromise option. It seems supported by Team New Zealand. That just breaking this afternoon.